Hello students, Standard 8. We are learning the chapter 15 in physics, some natural phenomena. In this chapter, first we saw the phenomena that was the lightning. We learn how the lightning goes, what are the bad effects of the lightning, what can we do and what we can't do during the lightning, and if you are outside, how can you save yourself? That we already saw. Also we learn about the lightning conductor that prevent the building from the lightning shock. We saw that the metallic rod is placed high, which is longer than the building, and it is installed when the house is built, and the other end of the metallic rod is connected with the metallic plate like a copper plate, and is buried very deep under the earth, so that the charges get the easy route to get into the ground. Then we learn about the earthquakes also. Earthquake is like a sudden moving of the earth's crust. So that earthquake is also a very, very unpredictable phenomena. It can cause damage to the human life also and the properties also. And we are familiar about the earthquakes took place in 2005, 8th October in some areas of the North Kashmir, and in 2001, 26 January in some part of the Bhuj district of Gujarat and some other places also. So we saw that when earth is shaking very suddenly, we call it earthquake. And it is shaking, or it is also known as trembling. Trembling of the earth is known as earthquake. And that earthquake doesn't last for a long time, only for few seconds, very short time. But if it is on a high scale, then it can kill the people and the animals, and it can damage all the properties also. It is caused by the disturbance very, very deep inside the earth crust. When the disturbance took place, it is shaking the whole earth, and that we call the earthquake. Generally we saw that earthquake occurs every time at somewhere and somewhere on the earth, but that are very, very minor, and therefore we don't even feel them. The major earthquakes are very rare. They are very, very less frequent, and when they are major, as we know that they can cause the very, very immense damages to the buildings, the bridges, the dams, and also the living organisms. Now, earthquake can also cause the floods and tsunamis, etc. If you see the Earth's map, then in some of the maps it is located that which part has the most areas which can have the earthquake. So now, what is the real cause of the earthquake? We know that only that earth, when it is shaking all of a sudden or trembling, we call it cause, we call it earthquake. But what is happening inside the earth? What the disturbances takes place such that it start suddenly shaking or the trembling? In the ancient time, as we saw that in the lightning also, people were connecting it with the mythology that God is getting angry or something like that. Similarly, in the ancient time, people didn't know the real cause of earthquake. So they were describing it in a mythological way. But now we know the real cause of the earthquake. And therefore, the tremors which are caused by the disturbance inside the deep inside the earth crust is causing the earthquake. We know that the outermost layer of the earth is not in one part. It is not in one piece, but it is fragmented, means it is in the different parts. And each fragment is known as a plate. Now, you can see in the figure number 15.10 here. This is the earth crust, and there, here, you can see that it is divided into the plates. That all are known as the plates. So, the earth's outermost layer is not in one single piece, but it is divided into the fragments, calling a plate. Now, plates are generally in continual motion, means they are not steady. Now, when they are moving, they brush past one another. Means they are going like that with brushing each other. Or sometimes the one plate goes under the another plate by the collision, and which causes the disturbance in the earth's crust. So, due to the collision, there can goes disturbance in the earth crust, and then it shows up on the surface as an earthquake. So, that is the real cause of the earthquake. As we saw that the plates, when they brush past each other, as shown figure here also, you can see that they can, due to collision, they can go under the another one, or they pass brushes like each other. And therefore, in this situation, they can cause a disturbance. And as a disturbance, the surface is shaking, and that is we call it earthquake. Now, this earthquake, the cause of the earthquake, we are knowing. But still, we cannot predict that when and in which place the earthquake can take place. It is still unpredictable, because there is no signs of earthquake is giving, and therefore when it shakes suddenly only we can have the experience of that, and therefore we don't have time for the precautions. If it is raining, we know that some of the days there will be heavy rain or the storms. So we get precautions, we take precautions, we don't go out of the houses. The people don't go to in the sea for the fishing, etc. Because that is predictable. those phenomena are predictable, but this particular the earthquake, we know the cause, but still yet we don't can predict this also. So tremors on the earth can also be caused when a volcano erupts. The main cause we know that when the plates are moving, and during that, due to the collision and when they brush past each other, that is causing the earthquake. But sometimes due to the volcano eruptions also that tremors can be obtained, and the earth is shaking, and that is also cause earthquake. Also sometimes a meteor that is very heavy from the space hits on the ground, and that time also it is disturbing and it is getting shaken. Also sometimes if we do the experiment of the nuclear explosion, so due to the nuclear explosion also the earthquake can take place. But most of the earthquakes are caused by the movement of these plates. So main causes are the movement of plates. When the plates move, and then it is causing earthquake. So now we have to learn about that seismic or fault zones. What is the meaning of it? So generally what happens, the boundaries of the earth's plates, we saw that the earth is fragmented in the plates. So the boundaries of the plates means the outer layer of that plates, that is the very weakest zone of the earthquake. The boundaries of the earth's plates are the weak zones where earthquakes are more likely to occur. It means that these boundaries are located in whatever place on the earth, and that earth is very, very threatened, that most time the earthquake can take place. But when we cannot say, but we can say that the plates are lying in some areas, and that areas are the most threatened area. It means that in those places earthquake can come frequently. So that zones are known as seismic zones or the fault zones. So wherever in the world the outermost boundaries are located, and that are the weak zones where earthquake can take place so many times. So that are known as seismic zones or the fault zone. In India also there are some threatened places, means those are the places at which the boundaries of these plates are located, and therefore in those areas so many times the earthquakes takes place. In India, which are the most places? First is the Kashmir. You know about the Kashmir. Last time in the year we talked about it. There was a big earthquake in that place of the which place? That was Uri and Tangdar towns of the North Kashmir in 2005. Then Western and Central Himalayas. So around the Himalayas, in the western side and Central Himalayas. So that is also a seismic zone in our India. Then the whole of northeast. So in our country, that northeast part is also the seismic zone of the earthquake. And run of Kutch and the Indo-Gangetic plain, means the plains which are located by the river Ganges, Ganga river, that are also the seismic zone of. So run of the Kutch, and we know that 26 January in 2001 also the Kutch was having the very heavy earthquake, and we saw that so many damages were there, and some areas of the South India. So in South India also there are some places in which the earthquake can take place. Here in the map also you can see that some places are shown here. Indian plate, Indian Ocean, Gangetic Plains, etc. Then in the upper Tibetan plates, etc. So these are the seismic zones or the fault zones according to the earthquake. So that are the thing that we learn about the earthquake. So here we are going to finish the session, which will be followed by the PDF file, and if any confusion about it, you can write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.